So I want to redo the trailer trash Bob story, but this is more going to be about in the trailer where you saw the red bone where she's like, yeah, I'm black first. So like I told y'all this story before, but I'm going to try to shorten it up and make this 10 minutes. Hopefully. I don't know. But so I'm talking to the girl. Maybe I'll go this way. Oh man, I don't know what people doing over here. Jeez. Through these damn parking lots. So I'm talking to this is 2008. I'm on my first contract. I got so many damn little one-off videos that I got to start using, man. That's the thing about these phones. I need to put them all in like a little folder. So I'm talking to this lady. I start going downtown Minneapolis. Like I don't know why I got so many of these damn Red Bull stories, man. They used to just be so damn plentiful. Like I say, y'all know what my policy was, but you know, I ain't discriminate, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be all professional at my job. I'm really trying not to really, you know what I'm saying? And so even some of my coworkers, they must have seen, she was like the only sister that was downtown. She was like a lawyer or something like that. And she was tall and she was thick and she was fine than something else. And so, you know, like, but I'm still thinking like, cause you know, I remember older guys, like when I was starting to, like when I was kind of transitioning in my career, it was older dudes that might say, hey man, don't be looking at them women's behind, especially them white women. Don't be looking at them. Don't, you know, just keep it real. You know, don't even talk to nobody at work. You know, now that's something I'm seeing married couples and just couples. I'm seeing all kind of couples and stuff to be at work now. But, you know, back then they told me, man, leave it alone. Don't even talk to nobody at your job, bro. Especially the white women, and I wasn't into them no way. But so I'm trying to just be all ultra professional and stuff. And the guys.
Hey contractor, you've been quiet all week.
Trying to stay out the way.
Well, for the record, I'm not one of those corny mixed girls. I'm black first.
Noted. Means I can stop giving you the LinkedIn version of me. And look, my bad for being short earlier. First enterprise contract, I'm just trying not to trip. Careful, I might.
Do it.
They're the seasoned techs that been there for a long time. They see that she's looking at me, kind of showing a little attention. I was like the only brother that she really could talk to up in there. And then I was new, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, and then she probably kind of liked me a little bit. So whenever I'm downtown on that floor, and then she just says, hey, you know, because she had her own office, I think. She's like, man, you come see me whenever you need. Because at first, I wasn't too sure about her. I was like, man, you know, I thought she was, I'm just be honest, I thought she was a little corny mixed chick with a white mama. You know what I'm saying? That somebody done hooked her up with a job down here, you know. And, you know, but like we start kind of talking a little bit, she kind of pulled me to the side and she was like, you know, she was just kind of letting me know, like I didn't ask her, but I said, man, you know, I'm just trying to just keep stuff copacetic or whatever like that. She said, you know, I'm not like them. You know what I'm saying? I said, I said, oh, okay. She said, yeah. So she turned off her little, she code switch. She said, yeah, you know, I ain't, you know, we ain't a lot of us up in here. So I knew exactly what she meant. I said, okay. So now I start opening up a little bit, start talking. And she said, you know, you know, my mama, she said, my mama white and my daddy black. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I ain't, you know, I know who I am. Like, you know, so don't feel like you got to do a bunch of code switching with me or nothing like that. Like, I put on this show for these white folks. So that's how I kind of knew. I kind of knew that she was one of us. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't sure at first because she got the little lawyer verse, she got the little anchor, the little Fox 9 News voice and stuff like that.
So you work both downtown and on West River Road?
Yeah, they got like that. She putting on that show for work so she could survive. You know what I'm saying? But she told me her mama was white. You know, and so I said, okay, well, she probably kind of she must have took her, you know, she grew up with black folk. She just got a white mom, that's all. You know what I'm saying? So she said, you know, they be acting funny with her at work. They be, you know, and she said a lot of times, she told me one time that, you know, they talk to me. They be saying a little funny stuff like in reference to black folk and they think I'm going to join in because they think she told me, she said, they think I'm one of these tap dancing, like she think I'm one of these high yellow confused niggas. She said, baby, I ain't confused at all. Like, you know, but she said, I let them talk. She said, I'm a lawyer now. I let them talk. And they say the wrong thing, they gonna mess around and end up having to cut a check. So we just kind of running it, but that particular story I told y'all where she's like, what you doing this weekend? And you would have thought by that time I would have been really been able to just pick up what she was really trying to say. Because at the, around this time I had already been socially, I think I was okay, but I was pretty damn green not to be able to answer that question.
We're still here, huh?
Got a few more lines to squash. You headed out?
Yeah, just about. Office is clearing out. So, what are you doing this weekend?
Honestly, probably changing the oil on the O's, maybe finishing this build. Real wild stuff.
That's all?
Might catch a movie if I don't pass out first.
Somebody should show you a better time.
Yeah, I'll check.
Asking me like, nigga, I'm trying to see you. Like, what are you doing this weekend? Like, what are you about to do? And I'm just not catching it, which is kind of weird because I had already been talking to Shonda and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we had just had that crash.
Yeah, I ain't no overclass, so play some of that do or die.
So, it's not like I didn't really have, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. She was super bad. She was like a 9, damn near on 10.
Stay on the deployment gig downtown.
Morning. I'm Simone, project coordinator.
DP. You got with the laptops.
Well, welcome. You making the whole floor run already?
Give me a day, maybe 2, and they'll be singing.
I might hold you to that.
You should.
Don't touch the blue trunks. Those carry
Finish. But I think that I just like chocolate so damn much that I just wasn't really.
You in here playing James Jones and got me feeling like a real live rat. Fine, I'll do it. But you're still mean.
I think that might have been I already got a red bone, so that's how I looked at it. I don't need another one right now, but she like I said, she ain't never been in the shootouts, and she didn't.
Chicks from Daily Park pulled.
Didn't have a long record and stuff like that. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have just kept talking to her, but.
So, what are you getting into this weekend? You got plans, or you just fixing everybody's laptops again?
Bit of both. Might tinker with my old cutlass, maybe catch up on sleep while you offering something better.
Maybe. Here, take this.
A business card? You recruiting me?
Something like that. My personal number's on the back.
I never really exchanged the number, whatever. I think, she's like, what you doing this weekend? And when she seen my response, because I didn't know how to respond. I didn't really know how to respond at the time. And so, I'm telling my coworkers, like, man, I don't really want to. They're like, man, you crazy as hell. You better. I was making excuses, man. She taller than me. She was like a foot. She like damn near 6 feet.
DP, what you got planned this weekend?
A couple laptops, maybe cruise the O's if the streets stay dry. Computer acting up?
No, I'm talking about me looking at you. Thought maybe you could show a lady a little of that car talk over dinner.
Oh, wait, you mean like us?
Mm-hmm. Here, DP ain't hard to find.
Say less.
And like a timber tree. Just thick for no reason with a flat stomach. And I'm making excuses why I can't talk to her, man. I'm gonna keep professing. My coworkers like, man, you better climb up on that sequoia tree and get to work. And I'm just making all kind of excuses. I'm just making excuse after excuse after excuse as to why I can't really, But nah, they was telling me. They even Trailer Trash Bob. I couldn't believe it. Trailer Trash Bob was a stone cold white supremacist. He's like, yeah, man, if you want to talk to her, she's pretty decent looking,
You must be new. I haven't seen you around.
Day one, trying not to break anything yet.
I'm Ayana. Welcome. You just made the coffee taste better.
Trailer Trash Bob was even in on it. I couldn't believe it. Because Trailer Trash Bob must have found out, like, hey, Derek, he's one of these. There's a nice girl that likes Derek downtown. So they kind of just, kind of egging it on a little bit. And I'm like, man, this might be a setup and all this, this be just trying to, like I said, this is my first damn contract. So, like, I'm going to put this with Trailer. So now remember, Trailer Trash Bob was the first. He was a telecom dude working down there. He had a pickup truck. He had these little tattoos and stuff like that. He's one of these little forks. He's like one of the dudes that be sitting around on a video game. And then when you're playing the game, he be calling people the N-word and all. He's like one of those. So I told y'all the story about the coworker that basically, the one that said something about the ghetto bee, but he tried to make it seem like Trailer Trash Bob was just an abrupt race soldier, but dude, with
that ghetto bee over on 3rd, man, it's like its own little planet. Cheapest gas in the city, but you gotta have eyes in the back of your head.
Ghetto
That's
bee?
what everybody calls it. Sign still says Golden Bee, but that place hasn't been golden since the 80s. Last night, some guy was selling subwoofers out the trunk. Cops didn't even blink. I just wanted a biscuit and to top off my tank.
It was like one of them little, and he stayed in Stillwater too. He was like one of them little, Let me see if I can whip it up in my book. I got the glossary. So y'all know I got the glossary. So let me see what kind of, I done forgot. Platinum Visa debit card Negro. Oh man, let's see here. Was he a Marshall Plan male? No, he wasn't a Marshall Plan male. So yeah, as I said in my book, Kanesha would have been the red bone. Kanesha would have been the red bone. Yeah, she was not an I'm black. She was not an I'm not black, I'm biracial Bridget. She wasn't one of those. Hold on. He was Trailer Trash Bob. He was Trailer Trash. I got all these little words out of him. So, but now that dude, yeah, now Trailer Trash Bob was the one with the Nazi. He had the Nazi stuff all over his house. But this was like I call it, I can't think of the name, Moderate Bob. Moderate Bob was making little funny statements about the ghetto being, talking about, well, Michael Jackson learned how to dance by a white man. Then he showed me some janky ass video.
Love you.
You know, he was one of them. So he's telling me, I said, man, what's up with Trailer Trash Bob? Why is he kicking doors? Because he used to kick the door whenever he got upset.
55 and they drop a PRI rebuild? Are you kidding me? What kind of clown? Yeah, no, I'm not taking it. Sorry, bye. This is garbage. Unbelievable.
That's one way to clear the queue. Careful, Bob. Ticket like that might open an anger management.
He was the only telecom person in the building. He was the only person that knew the Avaya systems. So they...
You see this? They opened a ticket blaming me for a down trunk. Not my line, not my problem.
Morning, you two.
Just kind of just let him do whatever they do. They just let him do whatever he wanted to do. If he wants to throw a tantrum, sometimes it would, you know, the IT director will pull him to the side or whatever like that. But they just gotta let him just do whatever because he's the only person that knew the system. And that's a dangerous thing for, that's a very dangerous thing to have. To have no standard operating procedure is what I call it. you have one person that knows everything. And that's not something you ever want to have in some enterprise environment, because when he leaves, he could just lock down the system, and now you got to call Avaya and you got to call the telecom company to, man, he's the only one that knew all that stuff to that degree, and he knew that. So I remember the first day when I got into that crash. It was me, my homie, and it was Shonda. We got into that crash. And after we got into that crash, I reported to work. Remember, I was still sick, so I was seeing double vision, all kind of little diabetes symptoms and stuff. So I could tell when he was training me the way he was looking at me. But my eyes and I was so off kilter, I didn't know what was going on. I was just kind of just passing it by as, maybe I can't see very well or something like that. But the way he was explaining stuff to me and looking at me, and I was trying to take it in as much as I can, but I was very sick. I was very, very sick, and I didn't know what was wrong with me. But yeah, Trailer Trash Bob, man, he be up in there kicking the doors.
Deploying this old system's like tuning a carburetor, but we'll get there.
You hear that? That's an Avaya 4610. My playground. Nobody wires a PBX faster than me.
The guy already doing it.
I'm telling you, I could patch a G650 blindfolded.
Cool. I just did it with my eyes open.
And like I say, Moderate Bob told me, he said, man, don't tell anybody, DP. Don't tell anybody. I mean, he used the word DP, but he said, don't tell nobody, DP. Trailer Trash Bob, he has a bunch of Nazi stuff. He has Nazi books, and then he got the men camp for, he's telling me about all the stuff. Somebody done went to his house, or he went to his house at one point. I'm like, well, how did he know? You know what I'm saying? How did he know? Covert Bob. Yeah, dude could have been a covert Bob. He could have been like agreeing with Trailer Trash on these things. You know what I'm saying? On the front end. I gotta think about where he lived too. He didn't want and not to say, but look at Stillwater's history. Go look up Stillwater's history in his past 10, 15 years. They have an open, and Stillwater's a real nice place to hang down. I'm talking about nice as far as, and they got nicest place to, but I'm just saying. There has been open race soldiers. Like there was a Somali family, and she went with her, she had her children out there by herself. And it was a group of race soldiers that kind of accosted her and made her feel like, so she started going in the shop, she started talking to some other white people, and they must have reported it, what was going on, but they was on some BS down there with her kids. Now see, had me and my guys would have been down there, we would have stomped a mud hole in their ass. And I'm gonna tell you why I say that, because, number one, it's a woman. Number two, this is a black woman that y'all doing this with kids just because, she's alone. That's why you're doing it. Because if she would have had her husband with her, it probably wouldn't have went that way. But you got to think, these are children that she's with. These people ain't ICE. They're not cops. They're not nobody of authority. They're just straight, I'm white and I say so. Now, dude stayed out there in Stillwater. So, listening to what he's saying, and then based on the fact that he's telling me that he knows that this Trailer Trash Bob has this insignia and these books and all this stuff in his house, and on the fact that he made that comment about the ghetto bee, and he didn't make it once, he made it twice. And the fact that he said something about Michael Jackson being taught by a white, I said, this is a covert Bob. This is a covert Bob. He's just not saying the certain words. He just ain't saying he got the insignia. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you in there with Trailer Trash too. Yeah, just because you a little nicer, just because you got that Joe Biden presence, yeah, I'm not disarmed by that. But I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, okay. Because that took me aback for a little bit. One on one, and he's talking about Trailer Trash Bob is a Nazi, and he's a white supremacist. And then he's making comments about the ghetto bee, because I had a car. He didn't never have no car. So when I had my car, sometimes I would drive downtown. And then, I stop at the gas station, at the Honeybee, Erder Station number 2. Erder with an M, station number 1 is across the highway, right off of Lindale, or I think Lindale or whatnot. So I never went to that. I maybe went to that station maybe one time. I didn't really like going to that station, but I go to the Honeybee a lot. Matter of fact, if I happen to have been talking to somebody on the north side or met some chick, you know, I might stop and get gas at the Honeybee, but a lot of times I'll just go up to that other gas station on Holiday on Washington. That's what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Or not gas up on the north side at all, you know, but that's what I would do. I wouldn't go to the other gas stations and stuff because there's too much going on. Go to the Honeybee. And I remember going to the Honeybee with my homie back before I drove a lot. At night and everything. There was this one dude that actually used to sell mixtapes. That was his spot. He was like the DP of the north side. He'd be over there. You know what I'm saying? So, and he'd be, you know, yeah, man. This guy, he, you know, and I started kind of noticing certain things from Covert Bob, certain things he would say, certain times, like, you know, I would stop by the gas station. He said it a few times, talking about, well, yeah, this is the ghetto B and stuff like that. And he wasn't saying it like, you know, he was saying it like in a way where, you know, and so I'm just kind of listening to him. I'm not saying too much. I just let him talk. And so, you know, it got to a point where I had to kind of start going downtown. And he wanted to see, he wouldn't have no car, so he had to catch the bus from West River Road to go down there. And sometimes he'd be like, oh man, are you going downtown today or this other thing? I said, man, you know, I'll probably go at the Wild or this, that, and the third. So he wanted to try to get a ride. I stopped giving his ass rides. Based on the stuff he was saying. I'm like, I'm not riding with this nigga, man. I don't want him in my car. So I think next I'm gonna give y'all the Blue Cross stories. I'm gonna get back to more of my techie stories too. You know, that's still the adventures of DP, but that's what happened with Trailer Trash Bob, and that's what happened with that's what happened with quote unquote Kanesha. She was one of us, man. She, you know, I like I said, I never knew her name or nothing like that because I didn't beyond that day talking about what you doing do this weekend. You know, when I kind of seen the look on her face, I'm like, well, I don't know, I'm probably gonna do this or something. And yeah, she kind of looked like this nigga don't know. You know what I'm saying? But she was like, I think she gave me her card. I think she did give me her card or something, and I didn't call. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. So I'm gonna try to make some good videos on how I think she looks. There's one video that I made, and but I think I might make a couple more, and then I might make some trailer trash. So you might get 5 or 6 little videos in this video.
Last driver board for the day.
Cool, I run the test. Hey, what up, shorties? On the 4-boy, got that 745 outside. Big body chrome to the concrete. Quit playing with me.
Here you go. We heard you through the glass, bro.
Y'all better. Peanut butter seats, roof full of stars, and she purring like a kitten, boy. Jay, what up, my boy? Give me that.